Hi,
Yeah.
Ankit.
Hi, Gitesh. So, can we start the session?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
great. Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to this exciting session as part of our online hackathon, the fifth edition of Hack the Mountains. I hope you are all doing well, and each one of you is as energized as we are to dive into today's talk. I am Ankit Kapoor, your host for this session, and it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our speaker today. We are incredibly fortunate to have with us Mr. Geetesh. He's a mentor and he's from Geeks for Geeks. Today, Geetesh will be sharing his valuable insights on strategies to land your dream job in tech. So, without further ado, let's give him a virtual welcome and over to you, Geetesh.
Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to today's session. So, we are going to deep dive into some strategies for getting a good placements. Okay, so my name is Gitesh and I am a mentor at Geeks for Geeks. So, without wasting any time, so I guess we should start. Okay,
Yes, Geetesh.
so okay. Let me share my screen. Okay, so I guess my screen is visible to you all. So, so today's topic is. Uh, So today's main topic is placements, right? Okay, placements. Okay, so most of the students are like will be in computer science background. So most of the students will try to go in software engineering field. Like so in software engineering field, so the very first thing that you should know is a programming language, right? So what can be the first thing? So the first thing is you should know a programming language because okay, so programming language, right? Okay, so most of the students like who are in first year and second year, they confuse between like should I choose C++ or should I choose Java or should I choose Python. So I would say that you should only choose one of them, right? You can either choose C++ or you can either choose Java and you can either choose Python. It's up to you. So in whichever language you are comfortable, so you should start with that particular language, right? So this is the very first bare minimum that you should know, right? After this, like you will be introduced to like some logic building thing. So after this, you should solve some problems so that you get the idea of the basic syntax, how this programming works, and what is the basic syntax and all. So you should try to learn syntax at the second step. Learn the syntax. Okay. So the first step was to learn any programming language. It can be either C++, Java, or Python. Also, nowadays students also use JavaScript also, right? Okay. Now, what is the third thing? So the third thing comes out to be like data structures and algorithms. Data structures and algorithms, and this is this thing is the most important. This is most important. So let me mark it as most important thing. Okay. So DSA is very important to crack any coding interview, and most of the interview ask you DSA question in the interviews, right? So now let us deep dive into DSA because as we know that it is most important. So let us try to deep down in our DSA thing, right? So what does DSA stands for? So the DSA stands for data structures, data structures and algorithms. Okay, so whenever we try to learn data structures and algorithms, so the most important skill that we are gaining is that optimization algorithms. For example, you must have used Swiggy or Zomato, right, to order a food or something, right? So suppose if you are going on Zomato app, and this Zomato app is taking like few seconds, like for example 50 seconds to load some things, and but this Swiggy app is taking less amount of time. So whichever like Zomato user experience will be low, but Swiggy user experience will be high because it is taking lesser time. So that's why our data sections and algorithm skills come up here. So we will try to optimize our things. So the most important thing that we will learn in our DSA part is optimizations, right? And what is the second skill that we will learn? So the second skill will be problem solving. The second skill will be problem solving. Okay, so these are the two things that you will gain if you try to master DSA. So first thing is optimization, and the second thing is problem solving. So let us see if there are comments. Okay, so hi ANR gamer. Okay, so guys, okay, so we can proceed. There are no comments till now. Okay, so we were deep diving into our DSA part, right? So DSA. So, what are the very basic data structures, right? So, the very first data structure is our arrays. So, what are arrays? So, we will you will have to learn and gain the skills by using DSA, right? So, the very first data structure is arrays, and after this, we will learn about the linked list, right? Okay. So we are deep diving into our DSA part, and after this, we will proceed to the other things. So first arrays, and after that linked lists and stacks and queues. So these are our data structures, and trees. These are most important data structures. Trees and graphs. Most of the companies like big MNCs, Amazon, Google, Facebook. Okay, so they always ask, most of the time they ask trees and graph problems, right? Now, coming about the algorithm. So these were about data structures. And now coming about the algorithm. So the very important algorithm, the very first important algorithm is recursion. And we can say that this is the backbone of DP, which is dynamic programming. It is the backbone of trees, and it is the backbone of graph. Okay, so if you have mastered recursion, then you can easily understood these three concepts, which are DP, trees, and graphs. And they are most important, and they are mostly asked in big MNCs, right? So the first algorithm was recursion, and after that, you will you will have to learn about dynamic programming. Okay, dynamic programming. This dynamic programming is also one of the important topics from like trees, graphs, and dynamic programming. These three are very important topics. These three are very important, right? We will mark them as important. Okay. Now, as we have understood what is DSA and how we are going to learn about DSA, right? So now we can move to our second thing. So the second thing is that most of the companies ask or take online assessments for shortlisting of students. So online assessments, right? So before any interview, you will have to give one OA, which we, in short form we say that OA. So you will have to give one online assessment because there are many applications. So to shortlist the top ones, so most of the companies they what they do is they give online assessment. So online assessment, and what does online assessment question ask? So we will be asked like something about the coding questions, like DSA question, DSA based coding questions. I'm talking about the big MNCs, and now talking about like mass hiring companies, for example Infosys and TCS. So they mostly ask for aptitude questions in online assessment. So they mostly ask for aptitude question in most of the online assessments, aptitude questions. So TCS, Infosys, and many other companies like Wipro, and there are many other companies. So they mostly ask for aptitude questions. So for example, TCS has TCS NQT, and Infosys has Hack with Infi, not Hack with Infi. I'm forgetting the name. So it's like talent hunt exam. Talent hunt exam. Also, Wipro conducts its online assessment for WILP and Elite. So uh, there are two profiles. So Wipro WILP and Wipro Elite. Okay. So as we can see that coding questions are asked in big MNCs. So they give me. So they gave us coding questions, and on what basis they are selecting the students? So they will select the topmost students. So for you to be shortlisted, so you should have to solve at most all of the questions, but try to solve like if there are three questions, so your focus should be solving all the three questions, but you can also try to solve 2 or 2.5 questions, right? So this was our online assessments, right? After this we will talk about the interview part. Okay, interview. So in interview, we are again asked about DSA coding questions, and also we are asked about our resume based questions. So resume based questions can be like it can be like your projects, like what are your projects and how you are solving any problem statement and what is your solution. So in resume based question, the in resume based, it can be around your projects, and it can also be around like, yeah, your extracurricular activities. So what you have done in your college. So extracurricular activities, and most of the times they mainly focus on DSA because they want a student who has mastered DSA. And projects are like, you can also make some good projects to make your resume shortlisting. uh, okay, now talking about like after the technical interview you will have your HR interview. Okay, so in HR interview, what you will be asked? So you will be asked like something company specific question. So why you have to join that specific company? Why you have to join? And like, where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So these are some basic HR questions that you will be asked in HR interview. Where do you see? Where do you see in next 5 years? Okay. Okay, so if you clear the HR interview, then you will be given offer letter or like uh, of a letter. So yeah, so that were the that was the roadmap, like how you can uh, get a software engineering job. So I would say that DSA is the most important thing, because I have earlier I have also said that DSA is the most important thing, and in the end I will also say that DSA is the most important, because like most of the companies like Amazon, which are very big companies, Amazon, Flipkart, I cannot name all the companies, but like Amazon, Flipkart, Cisco, and all, they mostly ask for DSA questions, right? Now, coming about like resume part. Okay. Do you guys have any question till this? Okay, so Joshi is saying I had below 16 12th but have good CGPA 8.5. Have very well Java knowledge, solve good range of lead code, but it's really getting hard to even shortlist it cause all companies applying 60% criteria. Okay, Doshi, yeah. Yes, but this should not be the case, but most of the companies allow all the students, like they don't focus on the 12th exam, 12th grades, right? They mostly focus on the CGPA of your college. But there are some also companies like, for example, Infosys, TCS, they ask for 60% above in your 10th and 12th. But yeah, I guess you can apply for other companies that are not having any criteria for 12th and 10th exam. You should try to apply for other companies. Okay. So I guess we don't have any other questions. So yeah, we can move. Okay, so now resume building. So resume building is the very important thing. So this resume building, if you have a good resume, then you will be shortlisted for the online assessments of the companies, right? So if you are not fulfilling the very first step, so resume building is the very first step, right? So if you are not fulfilling the very first step, then you cannot go to online assessments, right? Online assessments. Okay, so the very first step is that you should make a very good resume that showcase your skills and that showcase your project. And yeah, what about like hackathons and all, and coding profiles, and like coding ranks, for example, like code forces, code chef and all. Okay, so resume building is the first step. So how should you make your resume? So your resume should be like very simple. Okay, so don't use any other any other don't use fancy templates, right? Don't use fancy templates, and keep your resume of one page. Keep one page resume. Okay, keep one page resume. Also, it should be very simple and don't use fancy templates. Now, what can be the third thing? So the third thing can be like showcase your projects. Showcase your projects, like if you are in web development field, so you should showcase your web development projects. And if you are in like Android, so you should showcase your Android projects. Also try to give the deployed link, so also try to deploy your project. So this gives a very good impression to the interviewer, and he will try to he will try your projects. Like if your project is very good, then he will be impressed, right? So also deploy your project. And this the same thing is applied for Android also. So you should deploy your Android app on like Google Play. Okay. And for Android projects, you should try Google Play, and for web development projects, you can make your websites. And also there can be other domains like AI, ML, which are trendy in the market. So AI, ML, or deep learning, these are some trendy projects or like trendy domains which are trending right now. So deep learning. Okay, so showcase your projects. And what is the fourth thing? So the fourth thing is that if you have good ratings, if you have good ratings on competitive programming or like lead code and geeks for geeks, so you should add that rankings in your resume. So that also shows that you have a good problem solving skills. And you your interviewer will be impressed because of all these good problem solving skills, right? So if you have showcase showcase your coding skills. How can you showcase your coding skills? By adding ranks. How can you showcase? So by adding competitive programming or like coding profiles in your resume. By adding coding profiles, by adding ranks. If you have if you are good at any platform, then you can also add that in your as resume by adding uh, by adding good ranks in your resume, right? Okay. Now the second thing is that you should have your project should have at least two resumes, right? Your project should have at least sorry, not two resumes. No, your resume should have at least two projects. Because when interviewer ask your intro, then you should be able to give a good intro. And for that you will need a good amount of projects. So two projects are enough. And if you are more into development, then you can add more projects, right? You can add three or four projects if you are more into development part. Three or four projects, right? Okay. So yeah, I guess we are done with the resume building session. Okay, so guys, do you have any doubt? Just give me a minute. Okay, so yeah, we are back.
Yeah. So, everybody, if we are opening the floor for some questions, so
Yeah.
if anybody has some questions from Geetesh, you may ask. To everybody who's watching the stream on Discord, you can ask the questions on Discord chat too. Okay, we'll take a minute or two for all of you guys. If you have any doubts, you may drop them in Discord as well as the streams chat.
Okay, so Rishi had a question. So, sir, I had below 60 in 12th, but have good CGPA 8.5. Have very well Java knowledge, solved good range of lead code, but it's really getting hard to even get shortlisted cause all companies applying 60% criteria. Okay, so yeah, most of the companies are shortlisting the student based on this 12th and 10th exam, but Joshi, there are many other companies who don't use this criteria, right? So try to apply on those companies also. So don't focus on these company who are adding eligibility criteria. So try to apply on the companies which are not having this eligibility criteria, right? There are many companies who don't look at the 10th and 12th exam grades, right? So guys, any other doubt?
I hope Rushi got her doubts cleared. Uh,
Yeah.
if you have any other questions, you may drop that in the Discord chat or the live stream chat. So I guess we are nearing the end of the session. Nobody is having any doubts. I guess your insightful words and the session has left no stone unturned. That is why everybody is having
Yes.
a great time there.
Yeah.
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 So thank you so much, Geetesh, for that insightful and thought-provoking session. I'm sure that our attendees have gained knowledge and
Thanks, Ankit.
inspiration from this session. Plus, before we wrap up, I want to remind everyone that we have more exciting sessions coming up. So make sure you are all set for those. And if you have any further questions which you did not get any time to, ask them in the chat right now, please feel free to connect with Geetesh via our HTM Discord server. If you have any questions, your doubts will be
Yeah.
addressed. So, on the behalf of Hack the Mountains, thank you all for attending, and a special thanks once again to Geetesh for taking out
Thanks.
the
Thanks.
time to share your insights.
Thanks,
So
Ankit.
yeah, Gitesh. So let's continue to innovate, collaborate, and make a real impact through this hackathon. So see you all in the next session, and thank you so much, Gitesh, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Ankit. Bye bye, everyone.